Hello and welcome to this Emerging Leaders Academy program introduction webinar. My name is Jeremy Clopton. I'm excited to be with you today talking about a program that I know has been transformational for many leaders, including myself, and explain a little bit about what we've got going. This is going to be about a 30 to 35-minute presentation. I want to explain this program to you and hope to answer any questions that you may have. As we think about what's happening in the industry right now, we have so many retirements taking place. We have all of the baby boomers that have been leading firms for a number of years getting ready to retire, and leadership development is becoming a major issue in firms all across our profession. And it's not just a matter of, do we have enough new leaders to become partners? The question is really becoming, do we have enough new leaders that want to become the leaders of the firm going forward? So that's what's making this such an important time in the profession. As we talk to firms, it seems as though there's not only partners retiring in the next year, but there's also perhaps an entire generation of partners retiring in the next 5 to 7 years, which is creating not only an importance of needing new partners, but also new firm leadership. And one of my concerns is that we have not taken seriously enough the responsibility to prepare our future leaders properly. And have we really done what's necessary to prepare them to be great partners and to be great leaders? Have we been intentional in these efforts? If we have, we're going to find success. And as we think about preparing future leaders, I'm reminded of the Jim Collins idea of a level 5 leader, in the fact that we're not only looking to develop leaders that are as good as our current leaders, but we're looking to develop leaders that are better than our current leaders. And that is the challenge. It's not to say that our current leaders need improvement. It's simply an intentional effort to always develop better leaders every single year. And for many firms, this hasn't necessarily been the focus. It's been more of a focus of, can we find enough individuals that simply want to be partners and are willing to do the effort to become partners, but we haven't necessarily given enough intentional thought to preparing them to be great future leaders. And as we look at programs around the profession and outside the profession for that matter, there are many common weaknesses about them. It's not that this is a negative on any leadership program out there, but as we've looked to develop the Emerging Leaders Academy and iterate it over the years, some of the things that we've looked at and are aware of in other programs that we've strived to really not mimic in ours. First and foremost is that often leadership programs are very passive. They ask too little of their participants. It's simply something where you can attend a session, listen, you don't have to do anything as a result, and you can simply move on. And when programs ask too little of the participants, simply put, there isn't enough learning taking place, there's no action taking place. It's simply that passive activity of attending a session. Often we also see that many programs create a disconnect from the firm, which means that somebody essentially attends a leadership program, they get really excited about what they learn, but then they come back to the firm and they may think, wow, if only the other leaders in my firm believed this, and they become a little bit disenfranchised and a bit disconnected from the firm. That's something that we most definitely don't want to have happen in any leadership program. Any leadership program for your future leaders needs to connect them with the firm, connect them with existing leaders within the firm to help them build on the foundation of success that is already there. We also see that often programs have learning experiences in really big doses several times a year. And these are the types of programs where you've got an individual that decides, you know what, I'm going to go to a leadership program 3 days of the year. I'm going to go all in for those 8 hours, but I'm not going to do anything in between. My favorite analogy is likening that to health and fitness and saying, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym for 8 hours a day, 3 days a year, and that's going to keep me healthy and fit. And it simply isn't going to happen. When we think about the challenge that creates, it's you only get exposure to new leadership concepts a few times a year rather than multiple times a year. And as I think about our Emerging Leaders Academy, and I both graduated from the program and now help facilitate the program, none of these first three bullets are true. It is an appropriately demanding program that connects you with other leaders in the firm, and at the same time, it's continuous learning throughout the year. It's never something where it's just a one-time thing in big doses throughout at periodic times during the year. As we look at other programs, another weakness that we have found is that they focus on doing rather than becoming, and leadership almost becomes a checklist rather than a culture. And we very strongly believe that you've got to become a leader, not simply do the tasks of a leader. And that's such an important premise of our Emerging Leaders Academy program. Other leadership programs as well, what we find is that they tend to be quite expensive. Again, if you've got multiple big conferences during the year, that's expensive. You've got travel. We strive to create a very affordable leadership program. It's been our mode of operation from the beginning, even where there is travel. And right now, with everything that's going on, there is not travel. It's single travel to one event during the year. Everything else can be taken care of virtually. We find that a lot of firms will reach out, and I've talked to a number of firms just this year alone that have reached out and they said, Jeremy, we're really doing our own leadership training, and I hope that's okay. And I want you to understand that we believe you should be doing much of your own leadership training. It's something that is a very good thing to have firms doing their own leadership training, because that means that they bring it in-house and it becomes part of the culture. It becomes part of what they do. The challenge with that is that oftentimes when we do in-house leadership training, it has to reach everyone within the firm. It takes a lot of resources to develop all of the training that would be necessary. It takes time to develop and maintain the training. And quite possibly the biggest challenge is that it doesn't necessarily allow you to create the right training environment for your best people. Again, when we have leadership programs internally, often they focus on helping everyone become better leaders. What they don't have is they don't have an experience that is designed to help your best people become the best leaders that they can be, and really that concept of abandoning parity. And that's exactly what the Emerging Leaders Academy program is it's a program for your best people. Often they're at the manager, senior manager, early partner level. Ideally, they're the ideal candidate, as we look at it, they're somewhere around 3 years away from becoming a partner. That we have plenty of firms that send someone that's maybe a little further away from partner. We have some that are relatively new partners that go through the program, but it's designed for your best people, to challenge them, to stretch them, for you to invest in them and really push them to become the best leaders that they can be. The Emerging Leaders Academy began in 2007. It's currently, we're working with over 100 firms delivering this world-class training. We take it very seriously. It's our passion. It is our area of expertise. It's something that Sam Allred and myself are constantly looking at ways to keep the program very timely, very current, updating not only the goals, but also the webinars, the conferences. The program has been very successful with firms around North America. We typically have around 500 to 700 people in the program at any given time between years 1, 2, and 3. With last year, it was a little bit lower because of the pandemic, but we're already looking to see those numbers go right back up to where they have typically been. So let me talk to you a little bit about some of the principles of leadership development that we believe in and that we have built into the Emerging Leaders Academy. And then I want to talk to you just about the program components. Really, as we look at this, the primary focus is to help participants become high-yield, low-maintenance leaders. And that is the single statement that encompasses everything that we're looking to do. It is a singular focus on helping participants become high-yield, low-maintenance leaders. And we focus in on this Because one of the things that we hear from managing partners is those high maintenance leaders that become some of the biggest problems within a firm. As we think about sustainability of a firm, maintaining independence and overall profitability and success of a firm, it requires those high yield, low maintenance leaders. They're producing, they're doing everything that's asked, and they're self-accountable. They're not a drain on the resources of the system. And that's really what we're looking to drive and look to develop with this program, high yield, low maintenance leaders. To do this, we very strongly believe that learning must be continuous and delivered in smaller doses throughout the course of the year. We have monthly sessions. We don't do big doses where it's simply a day for 8 hours, 3 times a year, and we try to fit everything in that model. We strongly believe that we need to have smaller doses continually throughout the year. So we'll have monthly sessions, and each of those sessions is designed to allow participants to learn something, apply something, and then the next month they're going to look to do that again. So it's not only education, but it's also action on a continuous basis throughout the year, meaning that individuals must be able to apply what they learn after each session. One of the changes that we've made over the course of the years is that we provide individuals recommended goals after every session. I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail, but it really challenges them to identify what they can apply from what they just learned, and then take a course of action over the next 30, maybe 45 days to apply that into what they do. Small course corrections, not sweeping 180-degree changes. What this leads to is rapid skill development of leadership skills. It's intentional skill development at a fairly rapid pace, but it's in the form of small course corrections, which make it even more meaningful and powerful for those participants. We also believe that current firm leaders must be involved in the training to ensure that participants are able to apply what they've learned within the firm. Again, we don't want participants to become disconnected from the firm as a result of the leadership training that they attend. The current leaders that work with the participants through the Emerging Leaders Academy, we call them guides, and we have some that are advocates. They not only provide accountability, which is so very important, but they also allow the participants to better connect what they're learning in the program back to what is going on within their firm. Every firm is somewhat unique, so it takes someone from within the firm to help understand and really drive home how this works within the firm and what it means in the context of the firm. So that's why we are so very adamant that current firm leaders are involved and dialed in to the program as the participants are going through it. We also believe the program should be appropriately demanding of the participants and stretch their abilities. Growth happens outside of our comfort zone. It doesn't happen within the comfort zone. It happens outside of our comfort zone. So this program stretches participants outside their comfort zone. It requires work. It is definitely not a passive program. It is an active participation program, and some might argue that it's a work program. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. We don't want participants to just keep spending more time doing what they already know how to do. We want participants challenging themselves. We want guides pulling participants outside their comfort zone, stretching their abilities, and working to become better leaders. It is an active participation program. It will stretch participants, and it is going to demand some of their time and the fact that they are working hard during that time. The learning experience also needs to be easily customizable to meet individual and firm needs. Leadership can't fit in a cookie cutter type of program. We can talk about principles, we can talk about concepts. In fact, That's the basis of the Emerging Leaders Academy, is that we have sound principles, sound concepts that we know work in the leadership ranks of firms across our profession. But to apply that, the experience needs to be customizable to the individual and the firm needs. We provide opportunities for participants to select their own goals. There aren't checklists that simply say, do these 5 things and now you're a leader. We say after every learning opportunity, what did you learn and what can you do to apply that individually for you and within your firm? We have a project that is ideally a meaningful project within the firm that requires customization. Again, it's not select from a checklist. It's design something meaningful that will impact your firm in a positive manner, that will challenge you as an individual to grow in your leadership abilities. So that learning experience needs to be customizable. We also need to be able to measure the progress of everyone. We have a system for that. We have an online progress tracker that tracks what is happening throughout the program so that you can measure the progress and ensure that everyone is staying on track. We also believe a program must be affordable and require minimal travel. There is so much travel that already takes place in our profession. Travel is expensive. Now, right now, still in a pandemic, there's not a lot of travel happening. I recognize that. Even before the pandemic, this is a program that did not require much travel. One conference, a day-and-a-half conference once a year. It was a working conference, working in small groups. In the current state, we are not traveling, not requiring travel at all for this program. We will have virtual conferences. I'll talk about those momentarily. But the program needs to be affordable and require minimal travel. For it to be effective, we believe that that is something that is true. And it also needs to allow participants to network with other emerging leaders. Again, we're working with over 100 firms across North America, and these are their best people. This is such a wonderful peer network to be able to build your personal network going forward. I still am connected and interact with individuals that I met in year 1 of the Emerging Leaders Academy back in, I believe it was 2014, when I first experienced this program myself. I'm still connected with them, still work with them on a periodic basis, still have them in my network of professionals that I can reach out to. And that experience is incredibly valuable. This program is designed to provide those opportunities so that you have the ability to network and create a peer network with other rising stars, rock stars, superstars, and other firms across North America. So let's talk about what exactly is in the Emerging Leaders Academy program. And we'll hit some key dates and if you have any questions. First and foremost, every participant will have a personal guide in the program. The guide should be a respected leader within the firm. Often it is a partner. It doesn't have to be a partner, but often it is a partner. And this individual is allowed to guide more than one participant. The guide is such an important part of this program because, again, they're not only helping hold the participant accountable, they're also going to help connect everything back to the firm. That's why we want it to be a respected leader in the firm, someone that is going to help accelerate their growth throughout this program. The guide will work with the participant throughout the program. They'll help them set and accomplish their goals, complete their assignments. We will provide guidance and support and training for all ELA guides and advocates. And I'll talk more on advocates in just a moment. Every 4 months or so, Sam Allred and myself will give training on what guides should be doing to have the most significant impact on the career of those that they coach. We believe that it is some of the best coach training in the profession. I would argue it's world-class coach training, and it's all included as part of the registration for your participant. There's not an additional fee for this training. It is all included because we want the guides to be successful in helping their participants be successful. Again, the guide's primary role is to hold the participant accountable for accomplishing any tasks, goals, and assignments throughout this 3-year program. If your firm has multiple individuals in the ELA program, multiple guides participating in the program, we would encourage you to consider adding an ELA advocate. The advocate's primary role is to help administrate the program within the firm, being that internal point of contact, helping manage the participation, getting things on calendars, identifying deadlines. They will work directly with Georgia Cummings and Kelsey Monton, our team, to be as successful as possible within the program. And Georgia and Kelsey can help provide training and resources to make the advocates as successful as possible. Second component are our leadership training forums. Every year of the program, we will host 1-hour webinars. Myself and Sam Allred will provide these webinars and then provide a forum at the end of every webinar to discuss key principles of leadership. Most of the training in this program is through these leadership training forums. These topics are our areas of passion, our areas of expertise. We are constantly striving to improve, modify, and build on each of these leadership training forums that are built on the principles of leadership that we so strongly believe and advocate for at Upstream Academy. All of the participants will receive a PDF of the presentation, questions to consider, and other materials in advance of each presentation. At the end of every leadership training forum, by the way, there are 3 questions that we offer these questions to consider. And we will have participants on the line live answering those questions and interacting with us, again, providing that forum for discussion to get the insights and the perspectives of the participants of these key questions. Individuals will respond live at the end of every leadership training forum. In years 1 and 2, we do 10 of these training forums. We stay away from March and April most commonly. And then in year 3, we'll have just a few less. We'll have 8 leadership training forums, as there are typically more responsibilities on the participants, as well as more project responsibilities in that 3rd year. We will record every leadership training forum. Participants will have access to the presentation online after the webinar in our online progress tracking system, or our OPS system. The guides will also have access to those presentations. Often what we find are that the guides will sit in and listen to those presentations as well, so that they have the ability to meet with their participant after every leadership training forum and answer any questions, discuss what they've learned and what they're going to do as a result of that. Let me give you just a quick overview of the topics for each year's leadership training forums. In year 1, we start off talking about personal effectiveness and move to client management about halfway through the year. We'll start off with goals. Again, every leadership training forum will result in the participant selecting goals. So we start off with that. We talk about high yield, low maintenance, and then we move throughout personal effectiveness into client management. In year 2, we switch to more of a team leadership focus. So we start off with team development and work our way into business development. And then in year 3, we focus on leadership and financial management. As I really think about this, it's leading yourself, leading your team, leading your firm is really the progression of those 3 years. There are some concepts, there are some themes that participants will find common throughout, though in each year, each of the presentations are unique. They stand alone. They just build and reiterate some key concepts, some leadership principles, and we talk about those through the lens of each of these leadership training forums. Again, in year 3, there are fewer leadership training forums than there are in the prior 2 years. Third component of leadership development goals. We believe that leadership skills are best learned by doing. So throughout the year, after every leadership training forum, participants will set and accomplish their goals. The leadership training forum provides the education, their goals provide the action. That action is where that learning and growth is going to take place. We will provide a list of potential goals after every leadership training forum, and participants will choose a goal after every session, design their own goal if they would like, and then work to complete that goal, ideally before the next forum, but all goals need to be chosen and completed prior to the end of the program in May of each year. Again, the guides will work closely with the participants to help them select those goals and hold them accountable for accomplishing those goals. And every year there will be a leadership project. This is designed to be a challenging project, satisfies one or more of the goal requirements, and also allows the individuals, or if you have multiple participants in ELA, a team of participants, to further develop their leadership skills. This should be a project that is meaningful for the firm. It should stretch their abilities. It should be very specific, benefit the firm, be measurable success-wise, and have a time frame of success. That's what a good project looks like as we think about a goal. A good goal will stretch abilities. If it's not been done before, it's not something that's easy to do. It's something they weren't already going to do. It's going to take their best effort, and it pushes the participant outside of his or her comfort zone. We will educate you through the course of the leadership training forums and through the guide training, so both the participants and the guides, on how to do this, how to help select projects. We have example projects throughout all of the years of the Emerging Leaders Academy that you can look at, that you can use as examples. We're also happy to talk with you and help you select a meaningful project. Component number 5 is measured progress. Again, we will provide tools as well as a members only site for participants and guides and advocates that allows them to not only track the progress of goals and projects throughout the year, but also network with other participants and stay connected. Every guide and participant and advocate will have their own unique login ID that allows them access to information relevant to their role within the program. So it's going to look a little bit different, but you'll have access to everything that you need to be successful within the program, whether you're a participant, a guide, or an advocate. And we will also provide guidance to your firm on best practices for creating that efficient in-house process to help your emerging leaders grow throughout the course of this program. Again, not only Sam and I teaching these sessions, but also Georgia and Kelsey, such great resources to help your firm be as successful as possible during this program. Everything will be available in the OPS system, that online progress tracking program, as I mentioned. Everyone will have access to that information and be able to access the information. The guides will also get everything that they need in the OPS system. So it's not just a place for participants, it's also a place for the guides. If you're guiding more than one individual, you'll be able to see each of their individual progress within your system. Again, we believe that there should be networking, so we will network at a virtual conference this year. In 2021, all of our conferences will be virtual, those that are required for the program. So 2021, 2022 program year will be virtual. These will be three-hour virtual conferences. I will host one, Sam will host one, our other director, Heath Alloway, will host one. They will include interactive sessions, networking opportunities, and those will all be held in a virtual capacity. These will be active participation sessions, a little bit of presentation, some breakout room work, small group discussion, and then larger group discussion. They're very dynamic, interactive sessions that mimic what we would have had in person. We are going to also offer one in-person conference in January of 2022 in Las Vegas at the Vidara. Participants can attend this optional session for $550. Registration will be capped at 100 participants. This is not a required component of the program, understanding that for some firms, they aren't allowing individuals to travel. Some may not feel comfortable. Some may not be able to travel to a conference in the coming year. This will be in addition to everything else that is in the Emerging Leaders Academy program. You do not need to attend this conference to successfully complete the program. And all years are welcome to attend. It will be a standalone conference. We're committed to creating content that is not found in our other program, in our other Emerging Leaders Academy webinars, leadership training forums, conferences. It may find its way into future materials, of course, but this will be new information relevant for all 3 years of participants. And it will be supplementary, again, to the program itself. It is not required for successful completion of the Emerging Leaders Academy program, but it is available for those that would like to attend. Our facilitators are one of our big differentiators. Sam Allred and myself, Jeremy Clopton, are the 2 individuals that will really be facilitating nearly all of the Emerging Leaders Academy program. We both play to our strengths to help you train your next generation of leaders in the firm. Again, Sam is the individual that founded this program. He's the one that created it. We've been iterating it since that. I both graduated from the program when I was in public accounting and now help facilitate that program, bring that unique perspective as well. Like everything we do have an unconditional guarantee. So if you're not completely satisfied with the Emerging Leaders Academy program or your experience, we will at your option either waive the fee or accept the fee that you believe reflects your level of satisfaction. Everything is NASBA certified CPE. We will recommend CPE credit based on your level of participation in the course. The leadership training forums you do need to attend live for CPE credit, and we have a calendar that will have all of those for you. As we look at the investment before May 15th, the investment for every participant is $3,400 per year. If you're a UAN member, it's $2,900. After May 15th, the price goes up a little bit to $3,650. For non-members, $3,150 for UAN members. All prices are in US dollars, I should point out. Every tier of membership in the UAN tier program does include 1 ELA registration. So if you're a tier 1 member, you get 1 ELA registration included. If you're tier 2, you get 2. If you're tier 3, you get 3 ELA registrations. Of course, you can add additional registrations to that if you would like at the member price. The only additional costs, again, the guide training is included, the advocate training is included, the resources are included. The only additional costs would be travel, lodging, or meals. And then again, that fee if you decide to attend the optional in-person program. I want to give you some key dates and then I'll answer any questions that you would like to ask. Key dates, again, the early deadline to register here is May 15th. After that, the price does go up slightly. Our first leadership training forum takes place June 28th. Right, year 1 leadership training forum, first one kicks off June 28th. If you have participants in years 2 or 3, please know that these dates are the same. We do all 3 years leadership training forums are on the same dates. If you're in year 3, keep in mind there will be a couple fewer leadership training forums, but we kick everything off June 28th. Again, we stay away from March or April. If you're a new guide, we will have an introductory webinar for you on June 30th, and then our guide training webinars for the first program year take place July 12th, October 26th, and then January 10th of 22. As a guide, you are welcome to attend all leadership training forums as well. All right, we've got a couple questions that have come in. I want to answer those real quick, and I will give you our email addresses as well. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out directly or on our website. The first question that came in is what changes have we had to make due to COVID? And the big change that we've made as a result of the pandemic is moving our conferences to that virtual environment. So we are doing virtual conferences for the next program year as our default mode. We will offer that in-person conference. What we found last year is those virtual conferences went remarkably well. Everybody was very engaged. Got a lot of great feedback from participants that they were able to network, they were able to engage, they were able to interact and have that active experience that they were looking for. So that's our biggest change. The second question that has come in is to talk a little bit more about the in-person conference. Again, that will not replace anything in the leadership during the course of the Emerging Leaders Academy program. It is not year specific. So we will have a mix of year 1, year 2, and year 3 individuals there. We are capping that registration at 100 individuals. We want to make sure that we're able to do this program safely and responsibly. So we do have that registration cap. Again, it's optional. We would encourage anyone that would like to attend and feels comfortable attending to do so. It will be additional information beyond everything that is covered in the normal course of the program. All right. With that, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email address is jeremyc@upstreamacademy.com. Sam's email address is here on the screen as well. You can visit our website. We look forward to answering any additional questions you have and looking forward to having you participate in the Emerging Leaders Academy program. Thanks so much.